You know that feeling when you're scrolling through your feed and you see another game-changing AI tool and you think, maybe I should be using that one instead? Yeah, I know that feeling really well because I spent 6 months of my life trapped in that same exact cycle, and it almost cost me everything. I want to share something with you today that I don't usually talk about very often. It's a little vulnerable, but I think it might help you avoid the mistake I made. This is about shiny object syndrome. You've heard about it. And if you're trying to build something real right now, this conversation may change everything for you. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Michael Reamer, and my mission is simple. I want to help you build a successful business with AI and automations without all the hype and overwhelm. And today, I want to have an honest conversation about something that trips up almost everyone who's starting out, including me. Before we dive in, and you're finding value in these conversations, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me reach more people who need to hear this. All right, let me tell you a story. This was several years ago when I first started. I had this vision of building an agency that would help other local businesses grow. I love tech, and this was just perfect for me. So what I did, what I always do, I sat down and mapped out a plan. I identified my niche, I crafted my offer. I even had conversations with a few potential clients who were super interested. I was ready to launch, and then I made the mistake that would cost me 6 months of my life. I was watching YouTube one night, just trying to learn and stay informed, and I came across a video about a new AI tool. The presenter was so enthusiastic. This is going to change everything. And if you're not using this, you're going to be way behind. And I felt this knot in my stomach, the anxiety. Wait, I'm already behind. Should I be using that instead of what I had planned to use? So I did what seemed logical at the time. I spent the next 3 days researching this specific tool, watching tutorials, comparing features, trying to figure out if I really needed to change my strategy. By the end of those 3 days, I convinced myself I did. So I rebuilt everything I already built, my workflows, my automations, my entire system. 2 weeks later, another video, another tool, another wave of anxiety. Am I using the right voice AI platform? Let me spend a week figuring that out. I didn't know any better. And then it was AI models, OpenAI, Gemini, which one was better? Let me research that. And then it was CRMs and email platforms and funnel builders. 6 months later, I was like, oh, here's the part I'm not really proud of. In those 6 months, I didn't sign a single client. I didn't launch a single offer, and I didn't help one single business. I was so busy chasing what I thought was staying ahead, and I never actually got started. I remember one night sitting at my desk, looking at my bank account. I'd spent thousands of dollars on this AI tools and businesses, courses, and subscriptions. I had nothing to show for it. My wife, the next day, she said, "Hey, how's the AI business going?" And I had to tell her the truth. I haven't launched yet. I'm still getting everything set up. That was my rock bottom moment because I realized setting things up, I was hiding, I was procrastinating, I was avoiding the scary part, which was actually putting my work out into the world and seeing if anyone would actually pay for it. And that night, I made a decision. I'm going to pick one platform, one strategy, one offer, and I'm launching it. No more research, no more, let me just check this one more thing. I'm going to launch, and that decision became one key point of my success. Not the tools I choose, not the AI model I use, but the decision to stop chasing shiny objects and start executing. Within days of making that decision, I had my first paying client. Within day 3, I had 3. Within 5 days after that, I was profitable, and I was using the exact same tools I had picked up on day 1. Nothing fancy, nothing cutting edge, just solid systems that worked. So if you're watching this and you feel stuck in that same cycle, I'm going to help you break free of that. I'm going to share 3 key points that will help you overcome shiny object syndrome and actually build something real. Key point number 1. Your goal right now is to launch, not to be perfect. Here's something I wish someone had told me when I first started. Your first version doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. When you're first starting out, your only goal is to get your offer in front of real customers and see if it solves a real problem. That's it. Not have the most advanced tech stack. Not use the latest AI model. Not to impress other agency owners with your setup. Your goal is to launch and learn. Because here's what I discovered. When you're stuck in research mode, you're not actually learning anything useful. You're just consuming information over and over. But when you launch, even if it's not perfect, you'll get real feedback. You'll see what doesn't work and what works. You'll learn from what your customers actually care about. And here's the truth that nobody talks about. Your customer doesn't care about your tech stack. They don't care if you're using OpenAI or Gemini. They don't care if you're on the latest and greatest AI platform. They care about one thing. Can you solve their problem? So here's what I'd recommend. Pick out one problem that can do what you need. Pick one strategy that makes sense for your niche. Pick one offer that you can deliver with confidence and commit to it within 7 days. No switching, no let me just check out this new tool, no distractions. Launch first, optimize later. There'll be plenty of time to research other tools. There'll be plenty of time to upgrade your systems, but not now. Not when your only job is to get your offer out into the world and start helping real people. Right now, your job is to launch. That's the one key point. Everything else can wait. Key point number 2, build your team after you have momentum, not before. Here's another pattern I see very often. People try to build the perfect team before they even have their first client. They tell me, oh, Mike, I need to hire a VA. I need to hire a designer. I need to hire a copywriter. And I get it. I really do. You want to do things right. You want to build a real business, not just a side hustle. But here's what I've learned the hard way. When you're first starting, you need to do everything yourself, not because you're cheap, not because you don't value other people's time, but because you need to understand every part of this business. You need to know how to build a funnel so that when you hire someone later, you can tell them if they're doing it right or things need to change. You need to know how to write copy so you understand what good messaging looks like and bad copy looks like. You need to know how to set up automation so you can troubleshoot when something breaks down. But more importantly, you can't afford to hire people before you're making money. And you can't make money until you launch. So you can't launch if you're distracted by shiny objects. So here's the natural progression that I've seen work over and over again. First, you launch your offer. You do everything yourself, you get scrappy, you figure it out, and then you start gaining momentum. You add clients, you add sub-accounts. Your workload increases to the point where you can't do everything anymore. That's when you hire your first VA. That's when you start building your team, not before. Because once you have clients and revenue, you can afford to invest in help. And once you've done the work yourself, you know exactly what to delegate and how to manage that. Then, once you've built that team and you've systemized your operations, you could step back and guess what? You're going to become more of a strategy person. You could focus on growth. You could research new AI tools and test new approaches, but not now. Right now, you need to be in the trenches, building, learning, and most importantly, launching. Key point number 3, and this is an important one. Every shiny object is a distraction from your real goal. Let me be transparent with you about something. Every time you stop to research a new tool, you're not moving forward. You're standing still, or worse, you're moving backwards. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because I care about your success, and I've seen too many talented people get stuck in this same exact trap. Let me give you some real examples of shiny objects that will kill your momentum. Switching from one voice AI platform to another is a great example. Should I use HighLevel or Vappy or 11 Labs? Here's the honest answer. They all work. Pick one and launch. How about this one? Researching the latest AI model. Should I use OpenAI? Should I use Gemini? Or should I use Claude? They all have strengths and weaknesses. Pick one and launch. How about another? Comparing CRMs. Should I use HighLevel or should I maybe go to HubSpot or Salesforce? They all have pros and cons. Pick one and launch. Every single one of these decisions feel critical in the moment. But here's what I've learned. None of them matter if you never launch. The name of the game here is focus, eyes on the ball. Stay true to your strategy and your end goal, which is to launch a successful offer and build a real business that serves real people. Not to have the perfect setup, not to use the most cutting edge technology, not to impress your friends, family, and people with your tech stack. Your goal is to launch and help people, to make a difference, to build something that provides for your family and gives you freedom. And every shiny object that comes across your feed is a total distraction from that goal. And I say that with love and with experience because I've been there. I know how tempting it is. So here's what I want to do for you. Write down your end goal and be specific. I want to launch my offer by this date. I will sign my first client by this date. I will be profitable by this date. And then every time you're tempted by a shiny object, ask yourself this question. Will this help me achieve my goal faster, or will it distract me from it? I already know the answer. The answer is distract and close the tab and get back to work on what matters. Because the only thing that matters right now is launching. Everything else is noise. So let's talk about what happens when you stay focused. Let me tell you what happened when I finally stopped chasing shiny objects and started executing on my plan. Within days, I signed my first client, a local real estate agent who needed help with lead generation. I built him a simple system, nothing fancy, nothing cutting edge, just a solid funnel with some basic automations. And you know what? He loved it. He started getting leads, he started closing deals, and he referred me to 2 other real estate agents in his office. Within 5 days, I had 3 clients, and I was making enough money to cover my expenses and start paying myself a small salary. Within 30 days, I was totally profitable. I had a waiting list of people who wanted to work with me. And here's the part that still makes me smile. I was using the exact same tools I had picked on day 1. The same platform, the same AI model, the same funnel templates. Nothing changed except one thing. I had stopped chasing shiny objects and I had started helping real people solve real problems. And once I had that momentum, once I had clients and revenue and proof that my system worked, then I could start optimizing. Then I could research new tools. Then I could test new approaches and new products and new AI advancements. But by that point, I hired a VA to handle most of the execution. I had built a small team to help me scale. And then I could step back and focus on strategy and growth. That's the progression that makes sense. Launch first, gain momentum, build your team, then optimize. Not the other way around. Now let's talk a second about how to stay focused and how to have the right support mechanism around you. Now, if you're serious about launching your agency and you want to avoid the trap that I specifically fell into, I want to invite you to something special that I've built specifically for people like you. When you sign up for HighLevel through my link in the description, you'll get access to what I call the HighLevel Success Stack. And one of the biggest benefits in that stack is accountability and clarity. You'll get a one-on-one strategy call with me where we can map out your exact plan. What to launch, when to launch, what tools to use, and most importantly, what to ignore. You also get twice a week coaching calls where I'll help you keep focused. When you're tempted by shiny objects, we'll talk through it together. And I'll help you decide if it's real opportunity or just another distraction. And you'll get access to our private school community where you'll be surrounded by other agency owners who are in the exact same focused journey as you are. People who support you, challenge you, and celebrate with you when you launch. Plus, you'll get $1,500 every single month to choose the assets you actually need from our e-commerce store. Not a random bundle of stuff you'll never use. Just what you need to launch and grow your agency. This isn't about hype. This isn't about selling you more tools. This is about helping you build something real with integrity, with focus, with support. Click the link in the description, start your 30-day trial, and let's build this agency together the right way. All right, that's how you overcome shiny object syndrome in the last 15 minutes. Stay focused on launching. Build your team after you have the momentum, and remember that every shiny object is a total distraction from your real goal. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with anyone who needs to hear this message. And do me a favor, drop a comment below. Tell me honestly what's the biggest shiny object that's been distracting you lately. No judgment, just accountability. Let's help each other stay focused. Thanks for being here. Now go launch something real. I'll see you in the next video.